Hey everybody, we are having some scheduling issues, so we're doing a sort of semi episode of we're going to catch up on the newspaper that I keep forgetting.
We've decided that we are huge fans of Trails of Cold Steel, every single part of it, and therefore we've decided to bring you a bonus update.
Fair.
Ooh,
which will
a
probably
bonus.
It'll probably take the place of a regular update, but
Yes,
now
it
it's
will.
bonus.
Yes, it will.
That sounds exclusive, and that people should feel worthy.
I'm going to just load one of my
Exactly.
old saves that has all of the newspapers, so I don't have to load multiple saves.
Why, Uncertain Globe, do you think that this sort of... How much would you pay for an update like this one?
Well,
would you pay
I know that normal retail
$10.99?
value for it would be at least $15.
Well, what if I told you that you could get an update to this LP for a mere $10 to low tax?
Well, I would tell you to shut your whore mouth.
You don't need to pay low tax $10 because I put all the episodes on YouTube.
Yeah, but how are they going to
YouTube Red,
find it?
right?
No, regular YouTube.
No, we're YouTube Red.
Oh, okay.
YouTube
Our
Blue.
talent must be protected.
All right, so the Imperial Chronicle is a newspaper that is published. There's several issues published. I guess 11 throughout the entire game. Spoilers. But there's approximately one per chapter with some extras. We're going to go through the first 4 because that doesn't include any spoilers that we may have already seen. So, issue 1 was available for purchase only in chapter 1. So let's start with that one.
That seems reasonable.
The first section is on politics, annual budget, always good. Government today held a press conference to reveal its annual budget to the nation. At the same time, new plans to expand the military were announced, including the strengthening of...
Wait, stop.
Yeah.
What kind of... I didn't know that was going to work. What kind of government holds a press conference to announce their budget?
Doesn't the American government announce its budget?
No,
they
put
do,
forth
but they
laws of it.
present it. It's usually a press release or
Okay.
something like that, or...
Yeah.
All right, well...
But it's not going to be a full-out press conference because, oh my god, that would be so boring.
Well, apparently
That would be incredible.
Arabonia's
It would
going
also
to
be
have
very
one.
long.
Right,
It would be
exactly,
incredibly
because...
long. That'd be like a week-long conference.
Yeah, because you can't actually discuss, have any questions or response about the budget until...
It gets approved.
Well, I wasn't going to say until it gets improved, but until reporters have had time to read through the
Dissect
budget,
it.
find interesting items, talk to other experts in various policies about what these impacts would have. So
I did not expect there to be
basically-
this much discussion on the first 2 sentences of the paper.
Well, then you don't
damn
know
it,
that
I care
well.
a lot about fantasy politics.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
why would I care about real politics
That's
anymore?
actually fair.
I actually do care about that one a lot as well.
What's the difference?
Politics are important.
Anyway, Chancellor
freebie.
Osborne is strengthening the military, the armored divisions, which are the tank divisions. It looks like Calvert is...
It always comes back to that.
Yeah, that's true, actually. Calvert is also expanding its armed forces, so, good.
War.
Well, a Cold War of sorts.
War.
That's not what I meant to
Is
do.
the war as cold as the steel?
Okay. There we go. Reactions of the Imperial Diet. Both the House of Representatives and the House of Peers. I guess that's the House of Lords and the House of Commons.
Yes.
Yeah, generally.
Okay. Met to debate the budget in Heimdall. The House of Representatives voted unanimously in favor of the budget and military expansion, but the House of Peers remained fiercely critical of both proposals.
Wait, stop.
Of course they did.
What the hell? In what world is an entire chamber of government going to unanimously vote, yes, this is good, while an entire chamber is like, oh, I don't know, guys. This is kind of weird.
When one is the House of Nobles and one is the House of Commoners?
No. Even then, the unanimous is weird.
Yeah, unanimous is very weird.
I mean, I don't disagree, but...
Also,
Feel like you do.
so are basically the political parties in Arabonia entirely based on class and such that
Probably.
such that one entire chamber is entirely dominated by one party and the other chamber is entirely dominated by the other party?
Remember that
Because-
that Machias' dad being a commoner and being the governor is a huge deal.
Sure.
So I'm guessing yes. I'm guessing that, the House of Peers only exists because the commoners, have some influence, and the nobles are like, well, I guess, but we kind of don't want you around. So you guys can have your own branch that doesn't do much, I guess.
Well, I guess this is supposed to be sort of like, 1600s-ish British?
Or German.
Government? Yeah.
Well, it's everything.
Yeah.
It's whatever they want. And
specifically the House of Commons and the House of Lords, and that system is a British system that arose over a few hundred years.
Right.
I don't think the German system ever worked in the same way.
It didn't.
Okay.
I mean, it basically almost all royalties worked to a degree the same way. The only different was like the Austro-Hungarian Empire, and the reason that was different was because they had an emperor.
We have an emperor.
And that
No.
well, but we do and we don't. So
I mean,
remember, the Austro-Hungarian Empire at one point was probably close to the most powerful non-English organization and
sure.
State in the world. It was a superpower.
I'm saying that
And then they got their
Arabonia
ass
has
kicked
an emperor.
so hard in World War One.
Well, but does it have an emperor because it is... I mean, and this is going to sound silly, but is it an empire or does it have just an emperor?
It's the Arabonian Empire.
So there are autonomous parts of it that have their own kings.
I guess it's
Because
not mentioned. I
the
know.
actual
I know.
definition...
We've talked about that. But Arabonia is simply called an empire.
Because it is an empire, or what
I think just because it's big and
countries
powerful.
has it invaded? And this is something Japan has gotten wrong very often because it helps them teach their own history. The empire means you invaded and you have an emperor. But they often say that we just used the title as we found it
appealing.
So, it worked.
Right.
Appealing, yeah.
I don't know.
When in actuality it was because they were committing
some
of the most
title,
horrific human abuse atrocities.
If you read right here, the title is Imperial Governor. That means it's an empire.
So, and do we know what invasions they've led and what?
Not as such, but I know that.
So they're a Japanese empire,
more or less.
Is what I'm guessing.
Well,
yeah.
they did. They did invade. There was an invasion and a war with Liberal 12 years before Cold Steel. They were repelled.
Yeah, but they lost that one.
They were repelled, but they did invade.
But they're still an empire.
Yeah. they tried to annex. They tried to annex Liberal 4 times, or maybe it was only twice.
Okay, but they haven't actually. So they don't.
Well,
actually,
they do have
a
few. They do have a couple of protectorate states at least. We know that the North Highlands are
not
essentially under their dominion.
Technically part of the empire, though. They're okay with the empire.
Well,
I mean, I think we can.
If you're stationing troops belonging to a foreign government in your place,
right?
That would be. Yeah, that would be
and they're trying really hard to.
If they're allowing military bases, then they are under the empire.
And
because there's no way a sovereign country would just let another country just use military bases unless they were at minimum allied.
And they're definitely allied. But also Arabonia is trying very, very hard to annex Crossbell, and Calvert is resisting them as hard as they can.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good old proxy war over there.
Okay, so the governor is okay with the budget. And
so the governor is pro-war.
Seems to be that His Excellency has a clear vision for how to proceed in modernizing this country. His Excellency being the Chancellor.
And by modernizing, they mean war.
I guess, yeah. Well, what
if we just had more tanks?
Chancellor Osborne is also responsible for the railways existing. The rails didn't. He was responsible for putting
railroads. Railroads are a military tool.
Okay, then yes, war.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
The Imperial Transportation Act.
That sounds even more warish.
The law was drafted with the expectation that the number of orbital cars...
Well, no, that's just to move the empire.
Oh, they're moving. Okay.
We found the majority seem to be in favor of the
new
law,
I hope they have good movers.
Though some have argued that giving the cars of commoners equal regard to nobility makes little sense. Imperial government maintains
yeah.
that the law has been successful in reducing the number of motoring accidents and aims to eventually introduce it to the rest of the country.
So is that just we have traffic laws now?
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah.
Before cars could just do anything they wanted.
I would assume so, yeah. It doesn't say anything.
Okay, that actually was the case at one
we
point.
We don't have the actual wording of the bill, so I don't know what it actually says. But I would assume it's something like only drive on the road and, follow these traffic guidelines. All right.
Ereboni's version of Evel Knievel must be really depressed now.
Culture, Celtic Grand. So we were supposed to buy this before we went to Celtic, because this is telling us where we're going to be going later. The eastern town of Celtic is best known for the Grand Market, which is held regularly throughout the year. This year's spring market is bustling as usual and has attracted a large number of tourists and merchants. The town is located on a trade route that has long been vital to this nation, is the opinion of Otto, the market manager. He believes that Celtic's position as an interchange station where passengers can transfer from the transcontinental railroad to national lines makes it easily accessible for visitors from both...
Question?
Yes.
Why in the world is the transcontinental railroad hooked into the national lines?
So that you can jump off the transcontinental railroad at easy stops. It's not necessarily a bullet train.
No, I mean like
it has to stop somewhere.
No, it doesn't.
Right, but that's saying that those are completely different lines, not just.
Oh yes,
there's a station there.
That's true.
Yeah,
and that is the part that is kind of weird.
I don't know.
Super weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
Either they didn't let
Like,
the transcontinental
weird.
railroad into Erebonia, or very little, or they were sort of started at the same time with different track gauges for some reason.
Maybe the transcontinental
Just because they weren't
railroad started
talking to each
first,
other.
and then Osborne was like, "Hey, we're going to make more railroads," so the national lines had to, jump off of the already established transcontinental railroad.
Well, then they would branch the lines off of the same track, so you wouldn't need to, get off a train necessarily, wander through a town to a different station, and then get back on somewhere else.
Maybe the transcontinental railroad is owned by someone other than Erebonia, and Erebonia, had to make its own lines that it owned.
You still build spurs off it and all that.
All right.
It's not necessarily completely different.
I don't know. I'm trying here.
I know.
All right, and then finally...
And that was the
That's
first
why
issue
we're
of the
doing this.
Spotlight, welcome to the RF store, which is, of course, stands for Rhineford. Our goal is to deliver the latest Rhineford Group products. We're a one-stop orbital technology shop. We won't see that for a long time.
But you've always been stopping in two places.
That's true. All right, so that's issue 1. Issue 2, from chapter 2. The Imperial Provincial Council meets, made up of the 4 great houses and other key nobles, met in Bereahard, which is where we went in chapter 2. Reports suggest that the heads of each of the 4 great houses were independents, and that countermeasures against the reformist faction were discussed. The ones responsible for upholding the nation's traditions and for making this great country what it is today are we nobles. The so-called reformists may think that they know how to govern Erebonia, but are they really thinking of the next 200 or 300 years? Those who lack self-respect and can only think of practical concerns rather than the heritage and culture of this nation have no business talking about how to run it. Well, that's a quote and a half.
Yeah, it's just dumb posturing. I have nothing to say about that one.
Yeah. All right, international. A riot in Crossbell. Reports suggest that a riot took place in the Crossbell state to the east. The mob struck in the middle of the night, firing machine guns in the city streets.
That's more than a riot.
It is believed that the riot was
Once the
orchestrated
machine
by
guns
a
come
religious
out,
cult.
You should call it something else.
Yeah, that's an uprising.
Okay. And the Crossbell police are continuing to escalate this matter. So since the Crossbell police are the main characters of the Crossbell games, I assume I'm going to assume that event took place on screen, and the main characters of the Crossbell series had to deal with that. Because that would be...
Well, yeah, it sounds fun as hell.
Yeah, right? Fortunately, the International Bank
Also,
of
thank God, the bank opened the next day.
Yeah.
Phew.
Okay, Chancellor Osborne...
That's the one thing that I was concerned about when hearing that there was a major riot really really attack involving machine guns in the capital of a major state that we have high tensions with.
That's true.
At least the banks are still working. At
least the trains are still running.
That's muy importante.
All right, so Chancellor Osborne visited Jirai SEZ. An unexpected visit to the western...
A special economic zone?
Yes, actually.
I got it.
Good guess. Which has continued to show remarkable economic growth in recent years. It is believed that he met with the region's representative to discuss their respective visions for the future. Those present were said to be awestruck by the Chancellor's dynamism and political skill.
Also, I'm not really sure what Trails of Cold Steel has to do with, like, giant space empires, but, you know, we'll go with it.
That was an unexpected reference. I was not expecting you to reference that.
You mean probably the Jirai that most people in...
Well, yeah. I mean,
that is
I have
most
heard
popular
of it,
within...
But I wasn't sure that you had. I was not aware that you
yes,
had.
I have.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Okay. Incident, Phantom Thief B returns to Erebonia. He once sowed chaos across the Erebonian Empire, and he returned. Does the elusive outlaw intend to cause yet more trouble here in the Empire? Having been outmaneuvered by him on countless occasions, the Heimdall military police aren't taking any chances and are increased alert. And we know that is...
So, the obvious question is...
There's an obvious question?
Yes.
Well, yeah.
Everybody
How exactly did the news get, you know, the story of these reports that he returned? Like, did he just send a letter, to the police or something saying, "Hi, I'm back"?
Knowing what we know about Phantom Thief B, can you imagine that he didn't do that?
I mean, it's perfectly reasonable.
It's absolutely reasonable for him to have to drop one of his cards in every local police branch and being like, "Hey guys, remember me? I'm back."
Yeah, that's what I said.
All right.
I'm glad that we agree.
The Lake Lord Company has added a new product to its lineup, the Lake Lord Star. We already have one. This groundbreaking rod was created using a brand new material, making it stronger than ever.
Is it wood?
Probably. All right, so that was issue 2. Issue 3 would have been on in chapter 3.
Yeah.
The Rhineford Trade Fair is held biannually. Is that actually how you spell biannually? That spelling looks weird. Okay. I thought it would be B-I-A-N.
That would be biannual. This is biennial.
Okay. Oh, okay. So is biennial like more than biannually? Because ennial makes me think of...
It's every other year.
Okay. All right. Oh, right. Centennial would be every 100 years. Okay, got it. Because cien is 100. I understand now. Okay, it's an opportunity for the company to showcase its newest products to the world. This year, however, the event has opened its doors to the general public for the first time. As a result, Ruhr City, where the event will be held, is currently overflowing with tourists. The Rhineford Trade Fair is known as the largest trade fair of Orbital goods in Zemuria, showing off the latest in everything from Orbital stoves to weaponry. This year, the list of goods includes an even wider array of innovations for airships, new battle ordnance, and even cutting-edge devices known as Orbital washing machines.
Is that for Orbital laundering?
Probably. Reporters from across the continents are descending on Ruhr to cover the latest and greatest from the Orbital world. At a Rhineford Group press conference, Chairman Irina proclaimed, and this was actually before we met her, I think, proclaimed that the year will come to be one of great progress for the company. She expressed dissatisfaction with the fact that the company does not yet, quote, dominate the continent, and declared her intention to seize the initiative on expanding operations even further internationally.
By doesn't dominate the continent, you mean when we were in Liberal, a country just next to it, I never even heard of the fucking Rhineford Company?
Yeah, they're actually mentioned a couple of times, but only in whispers. Well, mostly because in Liberal they have the Zeiss Central Factory, which is direct competition for the Rhineford Group. So,
Well, they make Samsung makes telephones, but that doesn't mean that people in America haven't heard of them because they all use AT&T.
Right. Well, the communications are different in this world.
Sure.
Her comments are believed to have come as a result of the increasing profitability of the company's fourth development division established by her. The cutting-edge research of that division was on full display at the recent trade fair. Their latest offerings included orbital network terminals made here in Erebonia, which is, essentially internet, a new type of battle ornament dubbed Arcus, and a state-of-the-art weaponized orbital staff, which, of course, Emma and Elliot are test running.
Yep.
The man of the moment to appear in Ortis. This year's Ortis Summer Festival is looking to attract even more attention than usual, as a spokesman for the Imperial family has announced that Prince Olivert will be making an appearance. Known for his refined taste, his appearance is sure to increase expectations for the event. A source connected to the Imperial family suggests that he may have decided to attend in order to ease tensions between the reformist and noble factions. Oh, Crossbell had an election, apparently.
Yeah, looks like.
Mayor...
Ooh, he was the CEO of the International Bank of Crossbell. You know what I've heard? I heard that after the riot involving machine guns just one chapter ago, he successfully got the bank up and running the next day.
That was
and that's the most important.
That was like
thing
a month and a half
do.
ago, so, he clearly has done a lot since then.
Lots.
And he's going to stay being the CEO while being the mayor.
Ooh, is he going to get sued under the Foreign Movements Clause?
Probably not.
It doesn't look like it. It looks like it's actually going to be just fine, because that means that, the economy is going to be great, because he's great at being a banker, and obviously a banker as the governor, or as the mayor, is even better.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
Of course. Okay, Gourmet
And
Report.
I'm assuming that a corrupt mayor isn't someone you're going to have to fight in the Crossbell arc.
I mean, we already did that. Was he the mayor? He was essentially the mayor. Yeah, he was the mayor. Okay.
No, he's the governor.
Was he the governor?
I think so.
He was in charge of the city. So probably a mayor, actually.
Yes. I think he was in charge of the entire region, including, outside the city.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Okay. I'd have to go back and look.
Anyway.
Gourmet Report Sorcière Restaurant. Situated in Brayhard City, Sorcière looks out on the city's beautiful central plaza. We actually went and ate there. Reputation for the exceptional quality of the food. Served by Eustace's uncle. Reputation this reporter found to be well-founded after trying the restaurant's jewel potage for 640 mira. Courts in Progress has recently had a significant increase in sales tax, but the owner insists those measures have not significantly affected the number of customers patronizing his establishment.
Well, if the entire region's sales tax goes up, then presumably no matter what restaurant you go to, you're going to have to pay more.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yep.
Spotlight, Riding Club Nines. The summer races are almost upon us. Experience the excitement of horse racing for yourselves. Special seats are available for club members. Ask at the office. That will come up later.
I like how they don't even tell you where that is.
No. You're supposed to know. All right, and then issue...
Right, if you read the newspaper, you should just know what's already in it.
Yeah. Well,
it's the most efficient way, after all.
All right, so issue 4 is the one that we would have gotten this chapter, in chapter 4. Featured story, the summer festival approaches. The time for Heimdall's summer festival, traditionally held a month later than the festivals in other nations' provinces, is almost upon us. A number of different ceremonial events to take place at this time of year, but this summer festival, Prince Olivert, Crown Prince Cedric, and Princess Alphen will attend rather than His Majesty the Emperor. Quote, I can't believe that Princess Alphen will
where's the Emperor?
He's busy. I can't believe that Princess Alphen will be making an appearance for the first time. Yes, he's emperoring. Was the excited reaction of one female student who attends an academy in the capital. She ranks the princess as her favorite royal of all time. That's impressive.
Ugh.
What the hell is Estelle doing there? No? Nothing?
Estelle. Oh, that Estelle. Okay. I was like, why would Estelle be there?
I was talking about the liberal Estelle, not the...
Okay. But her favorite royal
Tales
would
of
be...
Vesperia Estelle.
Her favorite royal would be Princess Claudia. Right?
Right. No.
Not Princess Alphen. Anyway. Prince
Well,
Olivert's...
it would probably be Olivier.
Okay. Prince Olivert's intention to take part in the official functions was also met with rejoicing. Their attendance, along with the usual appearance of Crown Prince Cedric, is sure to make these year's festivals one to remember. Who will Princess Alphen's partner be? Furthermore, Princess Alphen is expected to attend the garden party and partake in dancing on an official occasion for the first time. Considering her popularity, just who will she choose as her dance partner is gathering significant interest. As soon as we find out, we'll be sure to print it.
Yeah, like I said, who they, rulers interact with at that time is going to be national news.
Right.
And that's why that whole idea of, oh, why are you getting introduced to politics yet? You're, 15. Surely you have more time for that. Is total bupkis.
I agree. All right. Armed clash in the Nord Highlands. Reports suggest that an armed clash was narrowly avoided in the Nord Highlands in the northeast. Oh, this was us.
Yeah.
An Imperial Chronicle cameraman happened
Also,
to be
what
in
the
area.
hell is with this spacing?
What do you mean?
Just looking at this text. Like, look at the punctuation marks. They are 1.5 miles away from their letters.
You are not wrong. An Imperial Chronicle cameraman happened to be in the area and notes that tensions were high on both sides. When asked about the matter, a military source noted that, quote, areas which the Republic claims ownership of always have the potential for unrest, end quote. Fortunately, the crisis was successfully averted before it got out of hand. Our source pointed to the trade conference taking place in Crossbell State next month and suggested that the Intelligence Division may have played a part in calming the situation. Note
that sentence has two pieces to it, and neither of them make sense when you consider the other piece.
Yeah. The
like what does the Intelligence Division have to do with the trade conference?
Well,
wouldn't you like to know?
The guy that we met in the Nord Highlands, what's his name?
Right, I remember the guy,
Lecter,
and I remember
Lecter.
that he was supposed to be...
He's from the Intelligence Division, and he went to Crossbell.
What the hell does...
Right, okay.
Like, what the hell does that have to do with the trade conference?
They're saying that the upcoming trade conference may have helped increase the tensions between the Republic and Erebonia, and that may have helped to potentially cause the conflict.
That is not how I read that at
all. Culture. Heimdall Opera House. Opera is an integral part of Erebonian culture, with the epitome of that and the epitome of that art is the Heimdall Opera House, the home of the Azure Diva Vita Clotilde, who we met. We would not have met if we had read this on time, but we already met her.
Mm-hmm.
Few can.
Oh, was that during a recording we had to delete?
No, we've actually met her on camera. Okay. Few can witness one of her performances and not be astonished by the beauty of her voice and figure and her range of expression. So great is her gift that it is said that her song has the power to transport the audience to another world. The Heimdall Opera House is a place of any self-respecting Erebonian should visit at least once.
No, just divas.
But how far in advance will you have to pre-order tickets? At least 2 months, suggests the Opera House's manager.
Oh, that's not that bad.
Alas.
Yeah, for opera, that's kind of reasonable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alas, for those wishing to see the commemorative...
I thought I was going to be impressed. ...performance
during the summer festival, even pre-ordering is no longer an option, as tickets for that have already sold out.
Well, during the festival, sure.
Yeah. Concert Cafe, Etoile. Etoile is a small, yet well-known cafe sitting on a corner of Heimdall's Alto Street. The experience of sipping one of the shop's fragrant herbal teas while listening to the soothing and elegant melodies is nothing short of bliss. Food is also available, with the store's most popular dish being this heavenly, soft and fluffy omelet for 280 mira, which...
Okay, stop. What the hell? What the hell is with this newspaper? And it's just, okay, we're not going to do the standard thing of including the age of whoever it is, is talking to us, because that's not reasonable. What we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we get the price of every single goddamn dish in here listed.
Of course.
Why? Why would anyone do that? Nobody ever does that.
Because.
Okay.
Alright, Spotlight, nostalgic memories for you. If you need a new instrument, record, or music box, the Rayvelt Company is there for you. We also repair broken instruments. The Rayvelt Company, helping you to share in the blessing of music. Interesting note.
Is that the company that we had to, find the record or whatever for?
Well, the cafe that they're talking about, Etoile, is the one that we had to get the record for. Revelt may have come up, but Revelt is also the last name of the captain from the railway military police, Claire.
So what you're saying is this is a giant incestuous network of politics and business.
I guess, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
All right, well, that...
Obviously,
you guess.
That is...
You guess.
That is the 4 issues of the Imperial Chronicle that we would have already seen at this point in the game, so, that's good for right now, because, Yui has to run, right?
Yep, and I would like to, accept my thanks for making this take way longer than it had to.
Yeah, it took a full... this is actually a full episode now.
There you go.
All right.
All right, you guys. I will see you later.
Yep. See everybody later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.